Michelle. My topic is all about learning theory perspectives. Learning theory perspectives seeks to explain how individuals acquire, process, retain, and recall knowledge during the process of learning. So, learning theory perspectives, it is how individuals acquire. Acquire means it is obtain new knowledge and skills, process, interpret, organize, and make sense of information. And retain it is store and maintain knowledge over time, and recall it is resource and apply learns information. It was Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher, who first pondered about how an individual learns new information when the subject is brand new to him. According to Plato, learning is a passive process where knowledge is already innately in an individual at birth, and any information acquired is merely a recollection of knowledge and soul already holds. There are five widely accepted the theories of learning, which is behaviorism. According to the theory of behaviorism, learning occurs by liking stimuli and responses. Knowledge is independent and it becomes cemented by way of punishments and rewards. So behaviorism meaning it is a psychological theory that assumes that all behaviors are learned through interactions with the environment. Second is cognitivism. Places the focus on the individual's thought processes and has the teacher emphasizes reflecting on experiences with metacognition, thinking about their thinking. Cognitivism it is, for example, when students reflect on what they learn, they can connect new informations with what they already know, which help them to understand the new information better. The third is constructivism, focuses on the internal thinking of an individual like cognitivism, but makes no assumptions on how concept will be manipulated or what links will be made. Constructivism it is a learning theory that emphasizes students being active participants in their learning, which teacher act as a facilitator and students are responsible for their own learning. Fourth, we have connectivism. This neuroeducational learning theory is grounded in the notion that learning is through the formation of connections between each other as well as the roles, hobbies, and other aspects of life. It builds on the ideas of cognitivism, but in this theory, learning does not reside only within an individual, but rather also within across a network of individuals. Connectivism, for example, it is students can divide it into virtual study groups where they can share resources, debate, and work together on problems. Last, humanism. This theory is closely related to constructivism and adult learning theory, and it states that learning is a natural desire with the goal of achieving self-actualization. Humanism is, for example, teacher create a safe environment where students feel comfortable speaking up. Therefore, a learning style refers to the way an individual prefers to observe, process, and comprehend and retain a new piece of information, while a learning theory explains how learning takes place. A learning style describes the preferred method of learning. Learning style falls into 7 basic categories, namely physical, logical, social, solitary, visual, oral, and verbal. By this description of learning style exists, catering to prefer a learning style leads to no improved outcomes in learning and may guide learners to avoid material presented in a manner that they feel is more uncomfortable. Thank you.
Magandang araw po, ma'am, sa aking mga kaklase. Ako po si Duna Malinaw. Ang aking topiko po ay tungkol sa humanismo and existentialismo. Ang humanismo, ang ibig sabihin po nito ay halaga at dignidad ng isang tao. Kung saan ipinapakita po dito na kung ano man ang kasarian mo o antas sa buhay, lahat tayo ay patay-pantay sa mata ng Diyos. At kung nakaranas man tayo ng hindi magandang karanasan, gawin po natin itong isang inspirasyon para bagayon yung daan para maging matuto po tayo. Halimbawa, ayon po kay Carl Rogers, ang kanyang client-centered therapy ay nakatuon sa pag-uunawa at pagtanggap sa sarili. Kung saan nabibigay diin sa potensyal ng bawat tao na umuunlad. Kumbaga, huwag tayo maging mapanuri sa ating kapwa-tao. Dapat pahalagahan natin at tanggapin natin kung ano man ang mayroon sila, kasi hindi natin alam kung ano yung kayang gawin niya na hindi natin kayang gawin sa ating sarili. At ang kalawa po ay ang existentialismo. Ito yung paghahanap ng kahulugan sa buhay. Kahit na andyan ka sa pinakamahirap na sitwasyon, tulad ng karanasan mo sa buhay, kumbaga ang gawin mo ay magagawin mo siyang isang sandata upang ikaw ay matuto at maninindigan sa sarili mong paa, na kaya mong ipakita, na kaya mong gawin na hindi rin nila kayang gawin yung sa iyo. So dapat kung ano mang meron ka, dapat maging kontento at gawin mong inspirasyon upang ipakita mo sa kanila na kaya mo na hindi rin nila kaya. At ang natutunan ko sa humanismo, existentialismo, dito yung pinapakita ng isang tao na kung ano yung sa paligid mo, dapat huwag kang mapanuri sa kapwa mo tao. Dapat pahalagahan mo kung anong meron sila, pahalagahan mo yung kung anong yung mga desisyon na kanilang gawin. Pero kung kailangan mo rin na tingnan mo na kung mali ba or hindi mabuti or tama. Dapat tanggapin mo kung anong meron sila na may pag-uunawa at nagpaunawa sa mga sarili sa kabila ng mga hamon sa buhay.
Good day, ma'am. My name is Tessie Albanday. My topic is all about socio-cultural perspective in physiology. The socio-cultural perspective in physiology highlights the role of society, culture, and interpersonal interaction in shaping humans' behavior, truth, and emotions. Roots in the belief that the human action are influenced not only by individual biology and personal experience, but also by the large social context. This perspective provides insight into how shared cultural norms and societal expectations shape people's views, beliefs, and identities. One foundation concept in the socio-cultural perspective is social influence, which explain how individuals' truth and behavior are molded by the attitudes, values, and action of those around them. Social influence can occur through mechanism like conformity, where individuals adjust their behavior to align with group norms, or through socialization process. Their children learn values, beliefs, and behavior from their family, school and community, where pressure, authority figures, and group dynamics also play significant roles in how people think and understand what they are doing on human mind. In summary, the socio-cultural perspective provides a comprehensive framework for understanding human behavior and Recognizing the influence of the societal factors, cultural background, and interpersonal relationship, it underscores the idea that our truth, emotions, and action are not isolate but are part of a broader social and cultural context that significantly impact our development, identity, and worldview.
I'm Isabel Y. Goodwino. My topic is the measurement of personality. The measurement is a critical area in psychology that seek to quality and understand the complex traits and behaviors that define individuals. Various methods have been developed to assess personality, each with unique advantages and limitations. The primary approach to measure personality include subjective method, objective methods, and psychoanalytic methods. So, ang ibig sabihin ng measurement of personality ay tumutukoy sa pagsusulat ng mga katangian ng personalidad ng isang tao. Maaring gamitin ang iba't ibang mga paraan upang masukat ang personalidad tulad ng mga pagsusulit sa personalidad. Pagsusulit ng nagtatanong sa isang tao tungkol sa kanilang mga saloobin, damdamin, at pag-uugali. Mga observation. Ang mga obserbahan ng pag-uugali ng isang tao sa iba't ibang mga sitwasyon upang matukoy ang kanilang mga katangian ng personalidad ng isang tao. Yun lang po. Thank you.